Welcome back to Animatron University. My name is Jesse Bray and I'm your instructor. In this lecture we're going to talk about what I call the Western. There's three things to think about when you're building the Western. There is the hero's journey, there is building your character, and then lastly there is using the environment as a character. In Joseph Campbell's wonderful book called The Hero of a Thousand Faces, you can learn how throughout time that we as people have been telling similar, if not the same story over and over and over again. We want to see good prevail over evil. We will talk about that later in our next lecture about good guys and bad guys, but I want us to think about this. There's a story that's similar that we want to see the good guy. A good guy is called out. A good guy or good gal is called out, and they have to face different conflicts, eventually even potentially face their death. An example of that you see in Star Wars, where Luke is called out. He has to leave his family because they're killed. Then later on he faces death, which is Darth Vader. These are something that we take for granted, but they're in every aspect of our story. Harry Potter, he's left at his aunt and uncle's home in an unpleasant place, but Harry Potter receives his letter from Hogwarts and it calls him out. What is your character's Harry Potter Hogwarts moment? Think about that. Now it's important to also build your characters. We've mentioned this before, that building your characters creates a subtext to your characters. Thinking again how your character, if they were acting for the part, if they were auditioning for the part, would they get that part? Harry Potter is a great example of a character that we waited 7 books and 8 movies to discover the truth of his origin. Does your character have that richness to them? Is there that much subtext? I highly recommend that you take your characters, spend time, create a character biography. Break down the things that they like and they don't like. These things will help you when you're coming together to create an emotional response, when you're trying to build your character. Why is this so important? Even if it doesn't come up that your character's favorite chewing gum or your character has a love for cats, even if these things don't come up in the film, you as a storyteller know them and you know how they would react. You're creating worlds in your head and let them come to life. Lastly, let's talk about creating the environment as a character. Now, this is obvious, a very easy way when it comes to the horror film, when someone is trapped into a haunted house. A haunted house is clearly a character of the film. It is the characters, the heroes, versus the house. But if you can come up with intelligent ways of making your environment alive, how much more can you make the character responding to that environment important? A perfect example of this is that it's not just in the horror genre that where the environment is alive. A great way to think about it is in the film Life of Pi. Pi is stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean with a Bengal tiger. Now, as much as he's at odds with this tiger because of their nature, they're both at odds with the ocean, a greater force than themselves. Think about the environments that your characters are in and what sort of dangers that possess. This will help you tell stories that relate to more people and that also are universal. You want to tell stories that connect with yourself, but also connect with others. I'll see you all later in the course.